Okay, this is Mr. Peterson, and I'm going to take you through part of page 4. So this video I'm going to call page 4A, and we'll finish these notes on a subsequent video. I'll kind of put this all together on another, well, actually I'll probably be back for class on the next day, so this will be the last of the videos. I do have a little short video that explains a few of the more difficult ones on the homework while I'm gone. Okay, 15A here is the square root of negative 16 plus 5. Well, you know what the square of 16 is. That would just be 4. So when you put this negative underneath the square root sign, it's just 4i. And then you're supposed to put the real number in the front and the imaginary part of it in the back, and this one number here is a complex number answer. It's got a real part and an imaginary part. Okay, the next one here is a little bit more difficult, but not much. The negative that's underneath the square root comes out as I, and then we're going to break apart that 20, and it's going to be 4 times 5, but let me just remind you that you can always enlist your calculator's help with that. If you go to the y equals key and type in 20 divided by x and go to your table settings, make sure it looks like that, and then go to your table. You can go down the right side looking for the very first number that's a perfect square. 20 doesn't qualify, 10 doesn't qualify, 5 is not a perfect square, but 4 is, 4 times 5. So then this becomes 3 minus 2i root 5 when you simplify that perfect square. And that's your final answer there, complex number answer. Now, I'm going to show you on my calculator how you can do these problems on your calculator. However, you only have permission in my class to do this if you're just checking answers you've already done. And you can see the intermediate work here. I'll know if you aren't abiding by the agreement here, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the mode key, and once you've done that, you got to go all the way down to where it's flagged on real number mode. You have to switch to complex number mode, A plus BI. So what I did is I went over there and I hit the enter key to select that one. Now you can go second quit, they're next to each other right there, and you can type square root of negative 16. You have to use the right arrow before hitting the plus 5. Otherwise that square root will continue and you'll get the wrong answer. And you can see it works. If you hadn't put that A plus BI mode on there, you wouldn't get the right answer. So now we're going to try this one, and this also shows you that you couldn't just do this on the calculator. So let me type the original problem here, and you get that answer. Well, the problem is it doesn't match what we want down here, so I'll type it, and now I'm going to show you how to get the I. I have to get the I in there, and that's second key and the decimal point. So type that in just like that, and you can see that those answers match each other. Would be how you know you did that one correctly. Okay, so we're going to learn how to add and subtract, and this will actually be on the next homework, but I'm going to go ahead and show that this today. And then I have a few examples I'm going to put a separate little video on that are going to help you with some of the more difficult ones on your homework. Okay, to add and subtract, that's the only one I'm going to do on this video, you have to get like terms. So what I'm going to do here is highlight the ones that are real, and I'll also highlight the ones that are imaginary, and I'll use yellow and orange. So the real parts here are 10 and 8, and those add up to 18. This is just like in Algebra 1 when we did these problems. We added the like terms. 10 plus 8 is 18. And then continuing over here, negative 5x added to 12x is 7x. So we got plus 7x here, and we were done with that problem. Here we have minus 5i. It's not a variable behind that, but we treat it just like as if it was. So minus 5i plus 12i is plus 7i. And we're going to check this in a minute on our calculator. Plus 7i. Okay, so we're done with that one. It was actually a very easy problem. And you have my permission to check your answers using the calculator. So type the original here, 10 minus 5, second decimal point to get that going there, plus, and then you have 8 plus 12i, and again, second decimal point to get that going. And the answer there agrees with ours, 18, I messed up, no wonder. And you might have been wondering about that, but it's 18 plus 7i, and I didn't catch it till I checked it, okay? So, this next one here, I'll try and be more careful. The real parts, 14 and minus 6, that's 8. And then 10i minus a negative 5i, that's a double negative there, is like 10i plus 5i, and that's 15i. And I'll double check this one by typing it. So here we go. 14 plus 10i is the first complex number. And we're subtracting another one, 6 minus 5i. I'm hitting the second key and the decimal point to get that I on there. And that gives 8 plus 15i, so we have that one right. Okay, I'll show you a slightly different approach on this one. I'm going to take the negative sign and distribute it. And this is maybe a safer way to do this here. So negative times negative is positive. And we have another version of that right down here. Negative times negative is positive. And I'll underline the real parts and prepare a spot over here for that. And then I'll underline the imaginary parts in a different color. And you just treat those as if they're like terms. So 3 plus 2 is 5. And then negative 8i plus 4i is minus 4i. So let's see if I get that right by typing the original problem. Remember that you have to be in complex number mode for this to work. So 3 minus 8i is my first number. And I'm subtracting negative 2 minus 4i. And that's 5 minus 4i. So we got that one right. Okay, I'm going to leave the multiplying at the bottom of this page for later. But there is one more video, and that's one that I want you to just have a few examples for some of the harder ones on the homework.